Hello and welcome to Knob Farms. God, can you imagine if I did that every time? It'd be horrendous. So it's a weekend again, so which means two things. One is Dan's here. He's just gone to get his waterproofs. And the second thing is stuff's going to get done. So brace yourself, because this is going to be one hell of a video. This Dan's going to go and see if the pressure washer will reach. We eventually got that tractor going again. It was my own fault. I spent 2 days. Well, the day after I changed the filter, I tried, but the battery was flat, so I had it on charge all day. Just chucking it down with rain all day. And right at the end of the day, I realised I hadn't bled the fuel pump, which is why I couldn't get it to go. So, as Mark pointed out, so we got it going, and then yesterday I did about an hour of washing in the shed. I washed all the feeders out. So yeah, there's just this shed, this lean-to shed, which is where the shed will live. And the bin want washing, so I think Dan's going to have a go doing that now. We just, as long as it'd be handy if the pipe reaches from where the tractor sat, so we don't have to move the tank or anything. But if it doesn't, we'll have to bring them up this way. So he's going to do that. I'm going to roll my eggs off, and then hopefully today or tomorrow, or well, in this video, we're going to get the shed moved back where it needs to live. Might be a bit more washing to do underneath, a bit of oiling up to do, which is going to be hard because it's never stopped raining. And then get it back, and then hopefully get this water drinking flushing system that Dan's designed all fixed up in place. I went and got some bits yesterday. So that's the plan. It's raining, so everything's blurry. That's the plan anyway. I've got to go and empty a muck trailer. I've still got all my top yard cattle to feed, so we'll get on with that. Exciting times. Well, I think it will reach. Just about. It's got a big kink in it, so unkink it. Should be plenty of length. Decent hose on this thing. It's handy because you don't have to keep moving your tractor around. I used to hire a pressure washer, an electric one, and the hose on it was never long enough. If you were ever having to move your pressure washer, which meant you needed an extension lead and a hose pipe that was long enough, and it was just a pain, and in the end I ended up buying a length of extension pipe. So when I hired one, I used to put my own extension on it, but it wasn't ideal. We found that these tractor pumps have got, 3 or 4 times the amount of pressure of anything that you can get off an electric one, even if it's anything you can get off a 240 volt one anyway. So I've tried petrol ones before, but unless you've got a massive petrol engine one, they're pretty rubbish. I hired one with a diesel engine on, which was actually pretty good. The only problem we had with that was it wouldn't bloody start. I don't think it was something that they hired out very often. So I went and collected it from, it wasn't local, I had to drive away to get it. Brought it home, and the battery was flat, wouldn't start, and it had a pull cord on it, But as you can imagine, trying to pull start diesel engine, it's not the easiest thing. And I think the battery was knackered, so it ended up being the right hassle, and I was in a bit of a rush to get it sorted, so I couldn't just wait for them to come and fix it. So. But when it was working, it was really good with a diesel engine on, and so we thought about, when I come to buy one, I thought about getting one with a diesel engine on, and then I remember talking to my granddad about it, and he said, well, you've got a diesel engine sat in the shed in the form of that tractor, which wasn't really doing a lot. So yeah, buying a PTO one just knocks half the price off, so that's what we went with. And to be fair, works really well. I've been dead pleased with it, really, because it comes with a really long hose, which the diesel engine one we were looking at only had a 10-meter hose, where I think this one's 50 meters. It's got to be 50 meters to reach to here. So. already the most exciting video we've ever made. But just hang tight, because we haven't even started. I mean, we haven't even had breakfast. How do you feel like the roof cleaning's going, Dan?
It's working, isn't it?
Are you pleased?
Pleased, yeah.
I'm really pleased. Oh, bye.
going to attempt to move the hen shed now. It's not actually raining at the moment. We've got blue skies. We've had blue skies a bit this morning, but we've also had about, I don't know, a couple of mil of rain. So, I mean, to be honest, it hasn't really stopped raining for very long since I moved the chicken shed here a week ago. So we're just a bit cautious as to, well, curious as to how this is going to go, really, whether the shed's just going to sink as soon as we try and move it or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty much finished washing. Dan did a load of washing yesterday, and then we ended up having to oh Christ, I just drove over a fence post. We had to go and clear a tree for someone last night. There's a tree blew down, blocking the road not far from here, and some of my neighbours rung me up and asked me if I'd come and move it, so because they couldn't get into their houses. And I think Dan got a bit of footage for that, so I'll add that in now. So yeah, what we're doing now is going to move this shed. Yeah, so we got it washed off as best as we could, but as you can see, the ground's pretty wet, so we're a bit dubious as to how this is going to go. We could end up making a lot of mess here, because you have to push the shed rather than pull it to get it back, so it might just dig in which case it could end up being a bit of a disaster, this, but we'll see. Move all these things out of the way. Doesn't exactly look dry where we're going either. Oh, anyway, got to stop moaning about the rain. Made about 10 videos now just moaning about the rain, so not going to do it anymore. It's actually not raining at the moment, which is nice. We'll move all these things out the way. Yeah, so we've got to here, and what we've realised is we forgot to drop the steps down. They've been stood up out the way. Really they need to be lying on the floor, because once the shed's back in position, if we get it in the right place, we literally just lift them up and bolt them back to the shed. There's only 2 little bolts holding them. And the other thing is this pipe really, as we come back, it wanted feeding into the tube, because it just slots down in that stainless steel tube, which is a bit Heath Robinson. But so we're just going to pull forward again now, drop those stairs down, and then we'll see if Dan's going to see if he can get that auger back in the tube. Takes a bit of every time I do it. That exhaust pipe's got a hell of a rattle. I think the rubber stop is worn, and it rattles on against the boom. Yeah, that door's a bit loose. It might be alright by the time it's got the chute on it. That was concrete, that, and when we put the weight on it, it cracked the concrete. So it wasn't very thick there. So there we are, sort of. I think we're happy with it where it is. It's a bit of a jiggling act to get it exactly sort of within an inch or two really of where it always goes, because there's a door to latch up. There's these stairs that have got to meet. I mean, you can move the stairs, but they're pretty. That's quite a good guide as to whether you're in the right place or not. So, I mean, these sheds I don't think are designed to be placed like this. I think they're just to be moved around the field. But when we bought it, it must have been just after the regulations changed. I don't know when. I don't know anything about that really, other than that at one point you didn't need to have a scratch area. You could have the whole shed on slats, and then they changed the rules so that anything barn or free-ranged hens had to have a third of the shed. I think it's a third of the shed as just what they call a scratch area, which is just on some loose litter, which meant obviously a third of your shed had to be on the floor rather than on slats. I didn't know that, so when I bought this shed I got it at a pretty decent price second hand. I got it home, we got it in place, we stocked it, we were ahead of ourselves really. We had hens ordered before we even had the shed put together, you know, and then it was all a mad rush to get them in. We're talking, this was 2014. Once the hens were in, and I think they were already actually laying before the egg inspector came out to measure the shed and everything. We were told it was a 600 bird shed, so to be safe we ordered 500. The egg inspector came and measured it, and he said straight away, he's like, well, where's your scratch area? We were like, scratch area? And he said, yeah, you've got to have a third of your shed as scratch area. So we quickly had to build that lean-to thing, which is literally just made out of these Christmas trees. We just chopped, these are overgrown Christmas trees that my granddad planted. We just chopped a few down and used the posts and just whacked up a shed quickly. And, you know, it's been there for 10 years. So, but I think people that still use these sheds, if you ever see any of them about, tend to have all built like an extension that fixes onto the shed, and some of them I've seen look as though that they can actually move with the shed, like they've got legs, they lift the legs up and they're all bolted. But we obviously, this is the way we opted to do it. But the other way is to have something that fixes onto the shed, which you can just take off to move your shed to muck it out. So yeah, anyway, that's what I just don't, they're not really designed. I mean, I don't think any of these sheds, chicken sheds that I've got, are really designed to live in one place. I think they're all designed to be moved every so often round a field or a block of land. But this is the way we do it. So, because we always wanted to have the free range runs in the trees rather than in an open field, because we always, from what we learned, we found that chickens don't really want to be out in an open field. They don't like direct sunlight. They'd rather be under cover of trees, out of the direct sunlight, and obviously out of sight of birds of prey. So that's what we did anyway. So it's back in place, we're reasonably happy with it. Next thing, we just need to lift these stairs up and bolt them back on, I think, and then yeah, just Dan's, well, I'll show you what Dan's been working on in a minute. We'll get the lights back on. I lost count the amount of times we've walked up and down here to get various different tools. Doesn't matter how organised you try and be, you never have all the tools you need, do you?
Too far away. Let's go again. That's it.
Don't know whether you can see, but that's the extent of the mess we made getting off the field, which wasn't quite as bad as I thought actually. Just thought I'd show you before it was dark. Yeah, could have been a lot worse. I mean, we moved it no trouble. It's not like we were struggling to push it like we thought we might be. So yeah, a few tiny little ruts, nothing that a roller won't get out. So yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Anyway, I'm doing yet another trip to the workshop for more tools. We're just on with trying to fettle this water system up now. Well, Dan is anyway. I've just got the lights back working. Some of them had water in the fittings, so kept tripping off. Got them going now. So anyway,